Hey, I'm telling you, you're about to enter into the fast rhythm of God. I know for so long you have been praying and asking why God has been taking so long to answer your prayer. But I'm here to tell you that you are going to enter into the fast rhythm mode of God. I'm saying this because I feel like this message is for somebody. Yes, it's for you, because you have been waiting on God and praying and I mean having a lot of struggle in your life, and then it's like your prayer have never been heard or understood. And now I'm telling you that God is sending me to tell you that you are about to enter into the fast rhythm of God. This is an anointing mode that I call fast, because sometimes God moves slow, but sometimes God moves fast. And you're wondering why God washed to answer some prayers, and sometimes He doesn't even care. It seems like He doesn't even care about some other prayers. So I call this the rhythm of God. First, you have to understand that God's timing is different from humans' timing, because we measure time with hour, minutes, seconds, and I'll say we measure time with days, weeks, and months, and a year. So God doesn't measure time like that. That's why He said 2,000 years can be 2 years for 2 days for Him. So, and 2 days can be 2,000 years. What that means is that God's timing doesn't stretch on a specific amount of time. It stretch on when it's ready. It's stretch on because God is strategic. If God is placing something over and over in your life, so when they're aligned, so that's when God's time is ready. Because you might see someone struggling to get a promotion, and then you will see somebody just get in the job and then have a promotion overnight. Because let's think about that, about David. David has been in the wilderness, in the jungle, I can say, taking care of the sheep, the animal. But suddenly, when Samuel goes to his house, he didn't look after the soldiers, because David has brothers who were soldiers. He didn't look after them, and they were good men, great men. But David has something inside of his heart that God was working. So that's why in the season of waiting that you are right now, don't try to rush, because ask yourself, what is it that God is trying to teach me? Because you have to make sure that God is you have to make sure that you understand the lesson that God is trying to teach. Because if you're not ready, if you're not understanding, if you're not growing in the waiting season, you're not going to be ready. Because if you're saying, oh, after 10 years or after 3 years, it might take longer than that if you're not trying to get yourself and your heart ready. Because the timing of God is your heart. This now, as I was thinking about it, I never thinking like that. The timing of God will depend on your heart. Damn. Because if your heart is not ready, so the clock is not ticking. Because let me tell you, Joseph, I mean, most of the people doesn't really understand that. Joseph, when God allowed Joseph to go through all of the struggle, being a slave, being a servant at Potiphar, and being a prisoner. So those were steps that God uses to prepare the heart of Joseph, because the kind of person God wanted him to be in order for the opportunity to meet him. So he had to do some work. That's why sometimes when you pray, so make sure that you're aligning yourself with what you're praying for. Because you might be praying for something that you're not ready to get yet. For example, if you're asking God to make you be a millionaire, for example, and then if where you're living right now, you become a millionaire, the people that is surrounding you right now, if you become a millionaire, are they going to be the right people for you? Is the location that you are right now, is it going to be the right location for you to have the blessing that God is preparing for you? So you have to think first, even though when you're asking, you have to think, saying, God, am I ready for what I'm asking for? So these are some questions you have to ask in the waiting time. Because in the waiting time, as I'm going to recap, is the first thing is, God, what are you trying to teach me? And the second is, am I ready for what I'm asking for? Am I ready for what you're preparing me for? And God, please help me to align myself to be ready for what you're preparing me for. And I'm going to tell you something. When the time is right, God won't care if it's a day or a second or a minute, and I don't know. But God will just care about his timing. I'm going to give you an example. Joseph had to become a prime minister in Egypt. God make this happen overnight. You might think this happened overnight because in the human eye, you might think that oh, God is not working because Joseph is in the prison. And there's no way Joseph could become a prime minister overnight by being in a prison. Because the best way for Joseph to become a prime minister, I'm sorry for itching my nose. The best way for Joseph to become a prime minister is for him to, take the scale up, till he reach some level, close to Pharaoh, and then Pharaoh can name him. But God doesn't work like that. That's the problem. Because if you're expecting God to act in a way that the mind of the human will understand, the human mind will understand, you're out of your mind. Because it says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. And, if you can understand and grasp what God is preparing, if you can understand and grasp what God is preparing, God is no longer God. That's why it's God. You can't understand him. If you think, yo, I got God right now. No, you don't. Because God will act in a way that will get you be surprised and stay in shock. Because the best way for Joseph to become a prime minister, if in the human eye, will be to the man Potiphar. Because Potiphar was working in the palace, stuff like that. But it was the closest thing to Pharaoh, to Joseph. But God didn't use Potiphar. It wasn't the right person. Or if Potiphar was going to be the person that will lead Joseph to Potiphar, maybe to Pharaoh, maybe it would have been the bad thing. The worst thing for Joseph. So what I'm trying to tell you is, God can move you far away from your goal, and then thinking that it's going to be taking you a lot of time. Because for Joseph to be in a prison and then to become a prime minister, it is really the farthest thing possible from becoming the prime minister. But God using the farthest thing and then make it be the closest thing. Because when God is working with you, it doesn't move you to go forward and then move you to go to your opportunities. This is your word. Listen to this clearly. When God is working with you, he doesn't work with you for you to go to the opportunity. Because he's working inside of you to attract the opportunity. Because when he was working in Joseph, he didn't work with Joseph to go closer to the palace, to Pharaoh. He works with Joseph, and then Joseph go all the way farther to Pharaoh, and then bring the opportunity to him. Because how can you understand Joseph is in the prison, and then Pharaoh sent people to clean Joseph and then to come to him. And then overnight, in a matter of seconds, Joseph was sleeping in a jail cell. And then one day later, in the morning, Joseph became the prime minister of a whole country. But at this time, Egypt was a big country. So, can you understand that? Can you understand how God is working? Because when in the situation that you are right now, you might be thinking, oh, this is the farthest thing possible to my dream, to your goal, to where God is working. But you never know how God works. So just align yourself and keep praying God. Don't get discouraged, because God, you might be closer to your blessing, to your breakthrough than you think. Because Joseph never thought that he will become prime minister in a matter of seconds. So keep praying God. Stay in the land that you are. Align yourself, and then you will see God's glory. Because this message is for you. This message is yours. And to finish, I'll understand that God doesn't think like human, as I said it. So don't try to think like God, because you will never understand how God works. That's why you just have to align yourself and then let God bring the opportunities to you. If you didn't know that, you're ready. God is about to hit skip, because you're ready. You're ready to go forward. You're ready to take your blessing. You're ready to step into the season. So this 2025 is yours. So take it. Take ownership of it, because you're ready. This message is for you. So you're ready now. You're ready. Say it to yourself. You're ready. God is saying that you're ready, and God is going to hit the speed button. You will see things happen overnight. You will see things happen so fast that you will be in shock. So don't be in shock. This is just God working. And then don't say, yo, you haven't worked for that. God has been working. even though you didn't understand or see the work of God, but God has been working. So when you plant something and then suddenly you see a leaf coming out of the ground, there has been a lot of work that has been done inside of the ground. So the plant, the seed that God that God put in your heart. So now it's time to harvest. So you ready? I'm telling you that you're ready. It was your brother, Licious. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share to somebody else.